A cordial greeting. Today is Tuesday, October 28, 2025. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. At the time of recording this video, it is 5:20 in the morning, local time in Jamaica, where the catastrophic Hurricane Melissa is already beginning to approach the island and is expected to arrive within the next 6 hours. Today will be a historic day, forever remembered in the lives of Jamaicans, as they are about to be impacted by the strongest cyclone in history to affect the country. And unfortunately, Melissa has managed to maintain its intensity with maximum sustained winds of 175 miles per hour or 280 kilometers per hour. And if we zoom in on the infrared satellite animation, we can see how impeccable the circulation of Hurricane Melissa looks. Unfortunately, the eye wall replacement cycle has not occurred, so the maximum sustained winds have not been able to decrease, and you can see that it continues on the path that would take the center to make landfall over western Jamaica. Particularly, the cities that remain in the western half of Jamaica will be completely devastated, and the National Hurricane Center comments the following: remain sheltered. Catastrophic flash flooding, landslides, and destructive winds will continue throughout the day today, causing widespread infrastructure damage, power and communication outages, and completely isolated communities. Total structural failure is possible near the path of Melissa's center. Along the southern coast, life-threatening storm surge and destructive waves are expected throughout the day. Failure to act may result in serious injury or loss of life. In fact, we are already receiving reports that sustained winds have reached tropical storm strength and that hurricane force winds will soon begin to affect the southwestern coast of the island. Another very important fact is that the barometric pressure has continued to decrease in the cyclone. At 5 a.m., it had a barometric pressure of 901 millibars, which makes Melissa the 8th most intense hurricane on record in the Atlantic. In fact, this record began 174 years ago. See in the following image the track marked by the National Hurricane Center, where it is forecast that the circulation center will make landfall early around noon today, right over western Jamaica, and the regions located along this area, including cities such as Alligator P, MP, Montego Bay, Cambridge, and Ocho Rios, will be completely devastated. On the other hand, sectors in the eastern part of the island will receive major hurricane winds causing significant and widespread damage. In fact, the National Hurricane Center forecasts that it will make landfall as a Category 5 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 165 miles per hour, or 260 kilometers per hour. And it is possible that during the next few hours, an eye wall replacement cycle may begin, which could weaken the hurricane's intensity. However, this will be insignificant since it will make landfall as a Category 5 hurricane. And in this image, you can see the extent of tropical storm force winds that will soon begin reaching sectors of southern and eastern Cuba. The hurricane force winds have a diameter of approximately 30 miles, and it will be across this swath where catastrophic winds will occur. We can see that in the following projection of maximum sustained winds, where basically the central and western parts of Jamaica would be receiving sustained winds above 230 kilometers per hour with stronger gusts, while the eastern half would experience sustained winds above 175 kilometers per hour. Again, the worst part will be during this afternoon. In addition, remember that excessive rainfall totals are expected. In the latest projection, over 400 millimeters of additional rain could fall, causing widespread flooding across all of Jamaica. And remember that life-threatening storm surge and extremely dangerous waves are also anticipated along the southern coast of Jamaica, where catastrophic damage to structures near the ocean will be reported. After crossing Jamaica today, it is now forecast to make landfall as a Category 4 hurricane over eastern Cuba on Wednesday morning. Specifically, it is projected to make landfall over Santiago de Cuba province, and that is why a hurricane warning remains in effect for the provinces of Holguín, Granma, Santiago de Cuba, and Guantánamo, and a tropical storm warning remains in effect for Las Tunas province. In fact, the latest advisory forecasts that it will make landfall with maximum sustained winds of 220 kilometers per hour, which could also cause a catastrophe across eastern Cuba. So, if you live in these provinces, you must remain in a safe place over the next 3 days. Notice that according to the projections of maximum sustained winds, winds above 220 kilometers per hour are expected to affect eastern Cuba, along with heavy and potentially catastrophic rainfall, leaving rainfall accumulations between 300 and 400 millimeters. Also remember that strong waves and storm surge will affect the coasts of Granma, Santiago de Cuba, and Guantánamo, causing significant coastal damage. Then, the National Hurricane Center forecasts that Melissa will move over the southern Bahamas as a Category 2 hurricane during the afternoon hours of Wednesday, and that is why a hurricane warning is in effect for the region, along with a tropical storm warning for the Turks and Caicos Islands. According to the latest projections, Note that maximum sustained winds above 190 km per hour could affect some of the Bahamian Islands, including Albertown. So please take into consideration that these winds can cause significant damage. Additionally, heavy rain will occur with rainfall totals that could exceed 300 mm, especially where the circulation center passes. And as if that weren't enough, it is now projected to reach Bermuda as a Category 1 hurricane on Friday morning. So definitely, Hurricane Melissa will go down in history as one of the most intense and catastrophic hurricanes in the Atlantic. We are all hopeful that no lives will be lost across Jamaica and eastern Cuba. Please help us share this content so it can reach people in the affected areas. Under this special coverage, I will record another video around midday to update this forecast. And before I go, I would like to ask you to like this video. It is also important that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell so you receive notifications when the videos are available. Well, with that, I'll say goodbye on this historic day for Jamaica. See you later.